Hello everyone, I am Dr. Tawab Khalil, co-chair of BSPRM Communications Committee. And today I have with me Professor Manoj Sivan, who has delivered an amazing Sidney Licht Lecture on post-viral long-term conditions.
So post-viral conditions obviously has come into the limelight because of long COVID, but this has been known for such a long time. Most of the viral outbreaks actually have some long-term symptoms in some individuals, and these symptoms could be fatigue, breathlessness, brain fog, pain, and many other symptoms. Really, the people have described about 200 symptoms in across the 10 organ systems. So it's basically a clinical syndrome, a constellation of symptoms which can happen after any kind of viral illness. And now we are more aware of it and talking about it because of long COVID, the scale of the problem.
Yeah. So most of the time, the viral infections, they are thought of as the domains of infectious disease specialists or medical specialists. But these are the patients who do have some sort of functional impairments because of this viral condition. And what I would like to ask you right now is that what is the role of PRN specialist in addressing all these functional impairments that these patients are having?
Okay, so as I said, because your symptoms are across those different organ systems, and most of the other medical specialties we work with, the colleagues, they work with specific organs. So they are actually not able or not skilled enough to manage a condition which is across organ systems. So they really struggle with that, and it's not in their comfort zone. So PRM physicians actually they don't have a specific organ to work with. They work with the whole human body, and they work with the functional limitations. So the approach is very different. So it's very much suited for the PRM physicians because they can look at the symptoms, they can look at the functional limitations, and they can try to improve the function. And they are more like generalists. So I think that is the strength we have as PRM physicians, that in terms of the medical skills, we are generalists, and we more have a rehab function-based approach, not an organ-based approach.
In your lecture, you have talked about the dysautonomia that is associated with post-COVID syndrome. So could you elaborate on that as well?
Yeah, so autonomic nervous system is again one of the areas which is not well recognized and well understood. And what we have done in all our work for the last 3 years is looked at the markers of dysautonomia, and it's alarmingly high in this condition. And when we start looking at other conditions, other post-viral conditions and long-term conditions like fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, we find exactly the same. So we seem to have understood actually that there seems to be a common pattern in all these conditions of a disordered or dysregulated autonomic nervous system. And I think we need more awareness, we need more education, and I think PRM physicians should actually excel in this area because there's no other specialty who's wanting to actually take this on. So it's available for us.
Yeah. So as a PRM physician who is just starting at his career and who wants to work in this health conditions after viral infections, so what will be your sort of key messages for them to how should they start on this?
Okay, so the key messages would be that these conditions are common.
Yeah.
I think it is a myth when people say that, oh, there's a very small population affected by it. As I said in my lecture, it's about 10% almost of the population. So they are common, and many clinics are actually full of patients with fatigue and pain which cannot be explained, and that puts actually many specialists out of their comfort zone because they don't want to manage fatigue and pain. So PRM young doctors, I think, should try to get involved in the care of these patients, try to understand fatigue, try to understand pain, link in dysautonomia, and all the things I talked about today in terms of symptom-based approach, function-based approach, and further research, I think will be very useful. So the key thing I would say is try to excel in management of chronic fatigue and chronic pain.